Hey guys, it's Reese, and today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit more about how I went from a middle school fangirl who ran fan pages on Instagram and Vine to somebody who has turned that into being their career. Obviously, I'm only 19 years old, so I don't mean like right now I'm in my career, but I mean my job all throughout high school and then what ultimately led me to going to film school and knowing what I want to do for my career aspirations. I know that there are a lot of people out there, probably a lot of you watching this video, who are such dedicated fans and really put in the work of a full-time job to their social media fan pages. And if you've ever thought, I really just love doing this so much and I have such a passion for it, but I don't know how to make money, I'm gonna tell you how you can turn that passion into a job and a career for the rest of your life. So for just a little bit of my personal background, how I started out as a fangirl and progressed throughout middle school and high school. When I was in middle school, I started my first ever fan page, which was a Hunger Games fan page on Instagram. I was really into the whole like 2012, 2013 saga of like Harry Potter, the Hunger Games, and Divergent. And I would post all the time about those, saw all the movies, read all the books. I was also completely obsessed with the musicians Ariana Grande and One Direction, and so I decided to make another Instagram account and Twitter page so I could post about how much I loved them. And even though I was really young and probably shouldn't have been exposed to the internet that young, I found it to be such a fun creative outlet for me and such a great way to meet other fans from all across the world who were like just obsessed with the Hunger Games and waiting for the Hunger Games Catching Fire to come out in theaters and waiting for Ariana Grande to drop My Everything, the album. And I believe when I was in 7th grade, I discovered the app Vine, which was, if you are a little bit younger, you might not even remember Vine because it doesn't exist anymore. But what Vine was this app where you could post 6-second clips, and usually they were funny clips that people would make, kind of like the original TikTok, but what I discovered was that people on Vine were creating edits. I had never really seen video edits before outside of some really bad ones on Instagram, and I was like, these are so fun, they're so creative, they're so cool, I want to make edits. So I would download movie clips from YouTube, and I went on my mom's computer and I got iMovie and I started making edits to post on Vine. I was editing Harry Potter, The Vampire Diaries, Teen Wolf, and even though it was super simple and easy, I was having so much fun doing it. And so as I got into 8th grade and my freshman year of high school, Vine died. It had to be shut down. So all the Vine editors moved to Instagram, and that's when I got into a lot more advanced video editing. I got my own MacBook and I got Final Cut Pro, and I started editing strictly on Final Cut Pro. And then eventually I took the big leap to getting After Effects, which is the really fancy, complicated Adobe software. And after spending hours and hours and hours watching YouTube tutorials on Instagram and walking myself through learning how to do transitions and effects, I finally mastered After Effects. And at that point, that's when I was like, hey, I feel like I'm kind of good at this. Like, why do I feel like this is, I have a skill set that other people might not have? From Instagram, I decided I was gonna start a editing YouTube channel, which, if you're subscribed to me on here, there's a good chance you know that I run the YouTube channel Spellbooked, which is a fandom editing YouTube channel. And when I started Spellbooked, it was just for fun. It was just because Instagram had a time limit. You couldn't post videos, I believe, that were over 30 seconds or maybe a minute. So I wanted to make longer content, and that's why I decided to start a YouTube channel. My videos were maybe getting 100, 200 views at first. And then finally, one fateful day, I made the iconic Steve Harrington being a mom video, and that's when my channel absolutely blew up. And until then, I really don't think I had a grasp of how being a YouTuber could be your job. I didn't know you could monetize videos. I didn't know people were getting paid so much for brand deals. You could do ads, you could do community posts, you could do merchandise. And even though I was doing it for fun, I really noticed that when I was getting a more consistent upload schedule, people were consistently coming back and watching my videos. My videos were getting hundreds of thousands of millions of views. I didn't know what to do with this attention. And eventually, once you start hitting these milestones like 10,000 subscribers, 1 million views, etc., you unlock these different tools on YouTube like video monetization, linking your channel to a merchandise store. And so as I was hitting these milestones and I was unlocking these new opportunities to turn my hobby into a job, I was absolutely mind blown because, again, I was just making these videos for fun, and then all of a sudden I'm getting paid every month by YouTube and people are buying my merchandise and people are asking to put ads on my videos. And YouTube was never my forever plan. I know there are people who literally their goal is to just be a YouTuber. They want to be a content creator, and nowadays that's actually like, it's viable as a career. Obviously you have to get that one thing that makes you popular in order to be making a sustainable income. But even though I was making a sustainable income and really being able to provide for myself and not having to rely on my parents at all for buying me stuff, I was able to go on trips that I want, buy fun stuff that I wanted whenever without having to worry about asking my parents for stuff anymore. I knew that doing YouTube was not what I wanted to do forever, even though I really loved it, and I had a passion, especially at first when I was making stuff for the first time and I hadn't really oversaturated the content. It was super fun and I didn't care if I was getting paid, it was just fun. Then as I started to exhaust all of the characters from Harry Potter and all of the Marvel movies, and I was like, I'm running out of stuff to make, I knew that especially what I was doing on YouTube was not viable for the rest of my life to sustain me forever. However, when I was in 8th grade, that's when I discovered, when I was really starting to get into editing, that you can be an editor professionally. And so by the time that I was in like my freshman, sophomore year of high school, I had totally committed to the idea that I wanted to go to film school to be an editor. And you might be thinking, Reese, you're already good at editing, why would you spend so much money to go to film school for 4 years when you already know how to edit? And that is because, first of all, the film industry is extremely competitive and people without a college degree are just not getting jobs like they used to. Having a college degree is very much the norm now, and especially when you're working in such a specialized competitive industry, your degree really matters when it comes to securing those stable jobs at big studios. Number 2, as much as I love my baby Final Cut Pro, it is really not the industry standard. The industry standard is a software called Avid, and I knew absolutely nothing about Avid when I was in high school, because when I took media productions class in high school, we used Premiere and After Effects, which are Adobe softwares, and all software knowledge is useful because I still edit on Final Cut Pro and I still edit on After Effects and Adobe in my classes. But in order to be able to go out for these editing jobs, you need to be proficient in Avid and at least have it on your resume, because every studio uses a different software and you really just need to know how to use all of them. And number 3, I went to high school in Arizona, so I didn't have any sort of foot in the door in the industry, no idea what I was doing, how to make a movie, how to do anything. So I knew that if I wanted to go into the film industry, I needed to get some knowledge and get some firsthand experience before jumping straight into it. Now, not every fangirl turned career has to be through the film school route. There's so many careers that have nothing to do with film, so if you're interested in hearing more about those, I'm going to talk about them. But if you want to do something that's film related based on a passion that you grew through being a fan, I have a whole nother video on my process applying to film school last year, and you can see it in the description. I will link it for you. But basically I go to Chapman University, which is the #4 film school in the country right now, which is really cool. So I go to film school in Orange County, California, and I am majoring in film production with an emphasis in editing, which is really cool because my film production major allows me to take classes in all aspects, like directing, cinematography, production design, screenwriting, really everything. But ultimately I'm emphasizing and focusing in editing, so especially once I get to my upperclassmen years, I'm only just about to start my sophomore year now, but once you get to your last 2 years, you'll really just be taking classes in editing, which is perfect for me. And so now that I have taken all these steps, it was really great for me because when I was applying to film school, I was able to put my YouTube channel and my experience with editing on my resume, and I don't obviously know why I got in, but I feel like that definitely helped, having all of that experience and success, like tangible success that people could see that I was good at editing and other people enjoyed my videos. I'm going to be starting an editing internship this semester with a company with the goal of by junior year, that's when you're really able to apply for the internships at the big studios, because they don't really want anybody who's not an upperclassman, just because experience wise. So that's when I'm going to be able to apply for the big editing internships, and we all know the ultimate goal is working for Disney. So Disney, any recruiter, add me on LinkedIn. You know I want to be an assistant editor for Disney. So that's the goal. That's the lifetime career aspiration. If I hadn't started my fangirl fan accounts on Instagram, then I would have never known that I wanted the career of working at Disney, which combines perfectly my passion of being a fangirl and my passion for being an editor, and then it gives me a sustainable lifelong career. That's a little about my journey, but also if you really have a passion for being a fan and being a fangirl and you want to know how you can turn that passion into your career, there's so many different career paths that directly relate to being a fan and being knowledgeable about what's going on in pop culture. The main one being social media marketing, which is also something that I was looking into doing. It kind of directly ties into editing. Social media marketing is more so business than like film school, but you could literally be paid to run somebody's Instagram account and make posts for them, write captions, interact with people in the comments. People need Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. These companies, these celebrities, these everything, they all need people to run these accounts for them. And when I was looking for internships on LinkedIn over the past month, there are so many social media intern roles, it's insane. So if that's something that you love posting, you love interacting with people, you love creating and doing analytics and seeing how different posts compare to your other ones, then that might be a really good option for you. Another big thing that you can go into right now that can relate to your skills as a fangirl is graphic design. I know my school has a specific graphic design major, so if you love creating fan art, making fake merchandise, posters, different fan edits through photos, graphic design could be a great option for you. Again, so many artists need graphic designers to work on advertisements. You can work with social media doing Instagram posts. They need people to make merchandise for tours, and it really allows you to be super creative because you're starting from scratch, making all of these designs that so many people are going to see and sport. I'm personally not great at graphic design. I am the social media marketer for the Disney Club at my school, so that kind of combines the last career that I talked about with this one. So I do both. I make the Instagram posts and then I post them. So I'm making all of the meeting posters, the event posters, anything that's going on in the club. I'm designing those advertisements and then I'm also posting them on the social media. So there are so many transferable skills, and the great part is that if you run a fan account, then you probably already have the basics for all of these. And I truly believe that with the way that everything is going, social media and internet wise, fangirls are literally gonna take over every dominant industry. So yeah, that's my experience and my advice with how I was really able to turn my passion for different fandoms and series into my career. If you have any questions or comments or anything, please let me know. And again, I do have an entire video if you are interested in going to film school, which I will link below. It goes a lot more in depth to that process of applying to film school because it's a complicated one. But yeah, I'm moving back to school at the end of next week, and then I'll be back renewing my Disneyland annual pass. So I'll be back making Disneyland videos and all of that stuff. I'll do an apartment tour, and yeah, so lots of exciting stuff coming up. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!